What's going on, fam? It's your boy Sydney from thenakedgardens.com, and today's video we are going to be starting some seeds, and not just any seeds. We're going to be starting our herb seed collection. The reason why I want to do our herbs is because last year I mentioned in a few of our videos that I wanted to start a herb slash tea garden, and we never really got to it because life happens. So what I want to do is get a jump start on life and start some of these herbs, and that way we can get them ready for when our last frost hits, about a few weeks after that, and once the soil gets nice and comfortable and workable above 55, 65 degrees. So that way we can transplant these herbs into the ground. Now, before I get to that, what I want to do is our friend, the Broke Farmer, sent us some seeds. So I want to kind of show you some of the seeds that he sent to us, and we might even incorporate some of those into this year's growing season. Let me show you. So the first one he sent was the organic, this is an organic butternut squash. This is something I love. I love having butternut squash during the winter months. It's very hardy. There's considered a winter squash because they store very long. So definitely going to be trying some of these out. This next one is they call Crenshaw melon. I guess it's a cantaloupe. We definitely want to grow some more melons this year. And last year, I forgot what happened with our melons last year. One of the loofahs just overtook it.
What happened last year was the tree was hit with some storms that overshadowed our melon patch.
Yeah, the melon patch, and then the ones that we had in our loofah beds, the loofahs just overtook it and wouldn't allow sunlight to get to that. Rookie mistake that we shouldn't have been doing, but hey, it is what it is. But this year we're going to be trying to grow, especially this melon. I think I'm going to try to grow on one of the arch trellises that we have. This one is chamomile. Definitely love chamomile. You can start these seeds indoors, but with these, what I will probably do is we have some planters on the rails here that we can direct seed these or direct sow these, and these you can use as a tea. Kind of helps calms you down and things of that nature. So definitely going to be doing some more of these, and actually I kind of ran out or very low on these. Summer squash gray zucchini. Now with the gray zucchinis, I love zucchinis and squash. What we found out what works best for us to miss the squash vine borers is to do these seeds around, start them around July time frame and transplant them around August time frame. The next one is the cucumber lemon. Now we tried to grow these I think our first year here on the homestead, but they didn't look too good, right?
I never liked them, but I think that it was just the time of year and what was going on with the pest pressure.
Okay. So appreciate that, bro. And then he sent some candy corn.
That's funny for me. He sent some corn after knowing that you don't want to grow any more corn. So now you are locked into trying some corn.
Yeah, so now I got to grow some candy corn. I think what I might do,
out in the field.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna be in our regular.
Yeah, I might do it out in the field because these will actually be good for our poultry that we could possibly feed them let them dry out and feed it to the poultry during the winter months. So we'll try those out. And then he sent us some black cherry tomatoes. I think these are going to be indeterminate tomatoes. So what this does is kind of push us to get our high tunnel get going. So now that we get that out the way, I appreciate it, bro, for sending those seeds. We're going to be trying to use some of those to see how they bear with us in our little garden here. So now we're going to jump into the herbs that we're going to be growing for, not just in our regular beds, but more particularly in our herb tea garden. And the first one is going to be sage. Now with sage, so we normally try to just grow this as something that's just to kind of decorate our garden and whatnot. I know certain butterflies use this as a host plant to put on, either to eat or to allow their the pupas to eat off of that. So we'll try this out. Oh yeah, the missus make a nice sage butter sauce on here. This one is the Korean hyssop.
Bee Central.
With the hyssop, we have in one container that we've grown. It's been in there for
4 years.
about
4 years.
Minimum at least 4 years. It's very productive. It's a perennial. It's part of the mint family. The bees, bumblebees, and even hummingbirds. We've seen hummingbirds just attract to this. So if you're looking about bringing some pollinators, definitely grow this. This is great. Like I said, this is in the mint family, so you could use this as a mint tea. You can even just take some. What I've done a few times is take some of this while walking into the garden, and it's just good. This one is a stinging nettle. So the reason why I got interested in doing this stinging nettle is it was supposed to be not just a herb, but also a medicinal properties. And a lot of herbs are medicinal uses that you can use them for. However, I want to make a disclaimer. Make sure you check with your doctors and physician or something like that to see if it's okay. I don't want you to say to use it for that particular reason and then you use it and it does some type of reaction to you. Use your own judgment. But what I've noticed and I found out about the stinging nettle is good for inflammation. With me, it's definitely going to be good because it helps reduce high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure, if y'all didn't know. If you have high blood sugars or countable arthritis, it's good for things if you have any type of arthritis. So we could possibly even make this into a salve or a tincture for back pains and things of that nature. This one is dill. We grow a lot of cucumbers, pickling cucumbers. So this is something that the Mrs. Naked Gardener will put in her canning jars of her pickling pickles. So this will definitely have to use this. All right, next one is parsley. Now with parsley, this is a annual that we're growing mostly during the cool season months. It's good to add into soups. We also use it as a garnish for when we're doing tacos sometimes, or you can add into your salad mixes. This is a great thing to grow in your garden. Next one is thyme. We always grow thyme. It's a great medicinal purpose. It's a perennial. Sometimes we give it to our rabbits, especially when the stems get kind of woody. They like to chew on that. You can add these as well into soups. What we also try to do is we try to dry them out. And what we're going to try to do is like do a mixture of different herbs. And this is going to be one of the herbs that we're going to be using it in to make our own seasoning. This is what they call fenugreek, I guess.
Isn't that the one that's like?
So this one is supposed to be similar to a curry dish or curry flavor. The reason why I want to grow this is because it's supposed to help with some inflammation and also with females that are breastfeeding or nursing their animals. So since we have rabbits and soon to be hopefully some baby lambs here, this will be a great diet. Next one is the St. John's wort. Never grew. I think we tried it, but never this. So with this, the reason why I want to grow this is a medicinal purpose for like in teas. It helps with insomnia, depression, anxiety, confusion, And you can also use it as a salve to help treat sunburn and arthritis and muscle pain. The next one is peppermint. Now I'm kind of hesitant about growing peppermint in ground, but since we have a secluded area for just the herbs, I just want to try it this way. If not, I'm going to try to pull it out. I know you probably won't be able to get all of it out, but we're going to try to grow this. This is a great perennial medicinal purposes. So you could use this into teas, which we will probably use it into, use it for. There's other uses that you can use. Make sure you use your own judgment and ask your doctor if that's what it's used for. This one is cilantro. This is an annual that grows mostly during the cold winter months. Now, actually, Baker's Creek has a slow bolting one that you can grow during the hotter months, but you've got to be mindful that you will have to harvest a lot of that. One of our viewers sent us another kind that they grow in Puerto Rico. I think I want to try that but I want to try that more towards the end of the late summer. I'll use these cheap seeds right now. I wouldn't say cheap, but burpee seeds. The next one is oregano. This is something that we actually have a hot and spicy one in our garden. That's been growing in there since we've been here at this location. We had it in a container at our old urban backyard garden in Garland, but we decided to put it in ground, and it's just been expanding. The winter kind of killed it off a little bit, but I can see it already growing back. So definitely growing some oregano is a great medicinal purpose as well. The next one and the last one is the marjoram, or how you say it?
Marjoram, but the oregano is really good for your chicken health.
Oh yeah. So what the missus pointed out, with oregano, if you have poultry, whether you have backyard poultry, if you grow a lot of this and you find some of your chickens or even your ducks, geese, whatever poultry that you have some respiratory issues, you can give them a little bit of this and it helps clear that. I think somebody even said, I think it was Chickenlandia, she said that you could dry it and sprinkle some in the nesting box, and it kind of helped freshen that nesting box up, because sometimes they poop in there a lot, you know.
A lot.
So definitely with margarine. Margarine. It's a perennial.
Say it again.
Margarine. So now we're going to be starting some of these seeds. So we have some seed starting mix, and we had it for, I think, towards the end of last season, during the fall season, and it's kind of dry right now. For our seed starting mix, all we had was just basically peat moss and some vermiculite. 5-part peat moss, 1 part vermiculite, and then we added some worm castings in there, because you don't really need to use worm casting. With the worm casting does, since we're lazy farmers, sometimes we forget about our seedlings once they sprouted and have their true leaves. That worm casting does is added more nutrients to that growing mediums for that seed to survive. Now, for those that are starting off, maybe you're not growing as large as what we are growing, and we're not even growing really as large as what we would like to grow. You can use that small Jiffy bag from the big box store. Now you will have to sterilize, and there's 3 easy ways that you can sterilize it. We did a video about it. We put it up on the iCard that's showing right there. Get you a nice growing medium. That's going to be the kickstarter for your seeds, and it's you want to make sure that your seed starting mix is moist. Don't have to be saturated wet, but you want to make sure it's moist, because if you try to wet it up later on, you're going to spend more time trying to make sure that the moisture is there, and you just don't want that. Right now it's very dry. Most of your seed starting mix is going to be hydrophobics or any soil. You can also use potting soil mix. I would say you could use potting soil mix. Now I've noticed in the last few years, especially since the whole pandemic started, that a lot of these potting soil mix has a lot of forestry byproducts in there. So you could sift out a lot of that woody material out of there, so that way you can get a nice finer seeding mix. But what I'm going to show you now, how we incorporate the water into our seed starting mix, so that way we don't have to wet it up later on as much. It's dry right now. If you add more water to this, it'll just wick away. Very hydrophobic. So we're going to add some water. Not a lot, just enough to get it, the water inside of it, and make it nice and moist for when the seeds get into it. All right, so this is what you want, what I like to have. Some water coming out of it, not a lot. It holds. See how that holds? I like that. Nice and damp. So now we're going to start some seeds. These are called sales for those that are starting off into gardening. So when you're starting off some seeds, sometimes when you go to the big box store, and you'll probably even start some purchase some starts. Now they'll have these like little containers. Now, as you can see, they're start them off in these, and then sometimes you can even reuse these as seed start mix, and sometimes they even have some empty, what these are called sales, starter sales, but they're very flimsy. See, I mean, they're just crack easy. Now I would suggest getting these next one. These are from Bootstrap Farmers. We use these now since I want to say about four to 5 years now, and they've held on tight, no issues. It's hard to crush these. So I would suggest after your first year, if you feel like this is something that you want to do, continue on with gardening, check for something that has a high durable plastic like Bootstrap Farmer. Now I'm going to show you how we pack these. What I normally do is I grab the sale, grab some containers like this, and just pack it up as much as I can. And then what I'll do is I grab another one of these, and I push down, not so hard, but just push down a little bit. And what that does is get rid of some of those air pockets inside of it. And then what I would do is I'll just come through here again, add some more soil, well, not soil, but potting mix, and do it that way. Once again, I'll show you how we do this again. Grab some potting soil mix, rub it in there, pack it in, not too tight. There you go. So I'm going to finish these up, and then we're going to show you how we plant the seeds. So now that we have the seed starter mix and these sales, let's plant some seed. Well, before we do that, let's make some key notes, things that you should have while you're starting some seed. One is a pen. Number two are some labels. We have different type of labelers in here to start these seeds, because you want to make sure that you mark what you're planting. Once you get up to the experience, you'll be able, once they sprouted up, you'll know what is what. We're going to start with the marjoram, as the missus will say. Now with these are very, very small seeds. She says she's grown these before. I don't know. We're just going to sprinkle them across the top here. I'm pretty sure they're going to get bushy. Let's see, they're very, very small. Now with small seeds like that, you want to make sure your hand is totally clean, because you could touch anything else around here and you'll find that particular seed in somewhere else where you didn't plant it in. So we're going to scratch into the surface, make sure we get full contact of each one of these seeds, so that way they will have a good germination rate. Then we're going to label it. Make sure I know how to spell it correctly. M-A-R-G-O-R-A-M. And we're going to put that right there. Next, we're going to do some oregano. As you can see, small seed. We're just going to give a generous amount of these. And most of these seeds, what we'll do is we'll do what we call a succession planting of these. And what that means is every so often we'll plant additional amount of these herbs, so that way we'll have a good amount of herbs growing in our little herb/tea garden. Make sure we get some good surface on that. There we go. Now, a lot of these seeds are going to be pretty small. However, with these cilantro seeds, there's a trick that we learned that works very well when starting seeds with cilantro. They're a lot bigger seeds, as you can see. And so what I tried to do, let's go ahead and do, I'm going to do about two holes in each one of these cells. At this particular seed is considered cumin. You have to crack these open to actually get the inner seed. It's almost like the beets and I forgot the beets and Swiss chard. There's more seeds inside of them. So what you want to do is you want to crack the outer shells of these and plant that particular outer shell. Not sure if the camera will pick up on that, but that's what I did on that. As you see, they're split and they got more. You can actually see the seeds inside. So far, that's been the best way I've started cilantro. So now we're going to cover that. Actually, I'm just going to add some extra soil on top of that. That's what I'll do. Now with cilantro, they take a long time to grow or sprout up or germinate, I should say. What you want to do is for everything to have the same amount of germination rate, because if some of these have to require on heating mats, then you might throw off the germination rate on one and not have a good germination on another. Then we got to label that. Label. Oh, excuse me. Next, we're going to do peppermint. Once again, small seeds. And then we'll just fast forward a lot of this, unless there's something that I need to show you. Other than that, it's pretty much the same after that. Now, seed starting mix is a valuable starting point that you want to get your seeds into. Now, this seed starting mix has been a go-to for us, and we have no issues with our seed starting mix. If you want to do the same as what we've done, we did a video about that. We'll put it off to the side and also in the description down below. Until the next video, let's grow together.